One of a kind podcast.
One of a kind. I have my friend Matt, coworker. What I love about meeting people in my job is you get to know them on a professional level. You get to see who they are in a way that is cool. It's like seeing the backside of a coin first, right? Today we get to flip the coin over and see the front side of Mr. Matt.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, real quick. 911-988. We are definitely not professionals. If you need help, get it. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt anybody. All right, dude, let's do it.
Let's get it.
Where were you born?
I was born in Camden, New Jersey.
Right, so you South Jersey your whole life?
Yep.
You've never lived outside of a '08 something area code?
Never. I've been in...
zip code.
Yeah, no. I've been in Landisville and Hamilton.
That's awesome. Where'd you spend most of your youth? Camden?
No. Just born there.
Just born there?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
I lived in Hamilton most of my life.
Cool.
Beginning of it was... I jumped around. Started in Hamilton. I don't even remember that because I was so young. Then Landisville.
Mm-hmm.
Then my parents had a house built in Hamilton, and that's where they still stay to this day.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So you're able to go back to your childhood home.
Hell yeah.
That's freaking wild.
Yeah.
My dad's dream, with my father up there, I don't know if you can see him on the big camera, but yeah, my dad's dream was us, it just never came through us, have this big ass compound and we all live after he died. And he did everything he could to provide that.
Yeah.
And it just is a little bit of a dream,
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you were in Hamilton through school?
Yeah, Hamilton all the way up until high school. Then I went to Buna, me and my brother.
What grade? Because I find that very important. When you move high school, 9, 10, if you move just one high school change?
Yeah, well, no. So we went to Hamilton all the way up to 8th grade, graduated middle school, whatever, and then started high school in Buna.
Gotcha. And you did all of your high school in one place?
Yeah.
All right, cool. I misunderstood. I thought you switched schools.
Yeah, no.
All right, so growing up with them farmers,
Yeah.
blueberry farmers.
Yeah.
What's it like? I grew up in Cherry Hill. It was weird, I grew up in a little metropolis.
I'll start with Hamilton if that's okay. Hamilton was cool. It's a good town. I have nothing bad to say about it. Just the... I don't want anyone to take this offensively, but just the people... I don't know. I didn't mesh with them too much. Like me and my brother had our
Matt,
friends.
can I ask you a question? Are you Italian?
Yes.
So Hamilton's known to be mostly Italian.
Very
right?
Italian, yeah. Yeah, for the most part. We got a little of everything, Mexican and all that, but
yeah, but
very
it's been
Italian.
known when I was a young man.
For
I'm in
sure.
my mid-50s. Hamilton was known to be really paisan.
Yeah, and it still is for sure. And everyone, I don't know. We just never,
You just didn't.
the majority, Hamilton's it's that town where people grew up and they stayed there forever, and it's just, I don't want to say political, but it is we dealt with it with baseball and all this stuff,
Right.
and but again, we still made great friendships and all that leading all the way up until high school. So I have nothing bad to say about it, but as a whole, that was one of our deciding factors that we wanted to go to Buna. And I'll get into that later. Would also.
So you had a choice to go to a Hamilton high school, Hamilton High.
Yep. Yeah, we would have.
But you didn't move your home.
Actually, we had to.
You had to move to go to Buna.
Yeah, my mom, she lives in Landisville, or she's currently moving actually, but forever she's lived there. That's where my dad grew up, and we had to move in there because if you don't move there, it's like this. I don't know, there's a fine or whatever, or payment you gotta make.
People used to do it out here to wrestle at a couple schools, and they were wrestling high schools like Highland. And, it was crazy because a lot of my friends were into wrestling and were really great wrestlers. My buddy Bone he still coaches to this day, and he's a great dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He still gives it back, which is really kind of cool. All right, cool. So Matt, for all yous out there, is probably 20 miles from major suburbs where he was born and raised. From Cherry Hill, Medford, Evesham Township. Matt's a good 16 miles, 17 miles. So he's halfway to Atlantic City, we would say, us that are from right outside Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And let's talk a tiny bit more about how it affected you. In high school, when you moved, how did the move go?
The move went pretty smoothly, honestly. We right before we went to high school, me and my brother were on this travel baseball team. So we already had a friend group and baseball team. Like we were cool with people going into that freshman year, which was very helpful. Obviously, you're not just starting high school not knowing anybody, right? So we had our baseball buddies and all that, and it just made the transition so much smoother.
So you're a baseball guy.
Yeah, heavily.
All right. One brother?
Yep. Twin.
You're a twin.
Yes.
Fraternal.
Yep.
Right, is that the right word? No.
Fraternal, yeah.
Yeah, got lost there a little.
Yeah, fraternal twin. I'm 26 minutes older.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. 26 minutes older, and we were born on the 26th.
Of what month?
January.
My dad's birthday is January 25th.
Oh, dang.
Wow, that's cool. See that? So we got that's why I'm so glad I didn't work in a room with you. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because we would have got to know each other. Yeah. Matt and I work in education, in special education. Mm-hmm. We deal with individuals mainly with autism, and we have the greatest job in the world. It just doesn't pay at all. But that's not why we do it. I mean, that's a whole other reason. That is another question that I have for you, Mr. Matt. But hold on. Am I allowed? Is Mom and Dad still alive?
Yes.
Awesome, dude.
Thank God.
See, that's so cool. And that's the raw nature of it. I'm sorry to do that to you, but the positive. Awesome. That's right. They're still in Hamilton.
Yes.
That's friggin'... I almost dropped the F-bomb. I was trying to clean my language up.
Me too.
My wife is promoting this, and, I love her, and I would like to have her be proud of me that I don't have to drop 11 F-bombs, and I'll just drop one or two. Because the one's going to come out.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah, now I'm grateful for...
Well, that's awesome. Is your brother still around the area?
Yeah. He's living in Newfield now with his wife. Shout out A-Bad Trilly.
All right, A-Bad Trilly. Is that your brother?
Nah, that's his...
See, come on, I'm old.
My bad. Yeah, that's Alyssa.
All right, cool.
His wife. They just had their wedding not too long ago. Late 2024, yeah.
So I picture you about my son's age. So hold on, don't tell me. I'm going to say you were born in 91.
A little more. Or a little...
You're younger than that.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So my son was born in 92. Okay. So I would put you in my kids, definitely in my kids' range. So you're 94 or 95 baby then.
96.
Wow, young son of a gun, you.
I like to think so. Yeah.
So that makes you what, 29?
Yep.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. You're about half my age. Almost, no, not really. You just passed the half point.
It goes quick, man.
That's cool. I just find that really, really cool. Love to delve a little more into your family. Maybe that's for a little bit of a future show. Would love to hear about your parents.
For sure.
How were you raised? Did Dad work like a normal job and Mom stay at home mom?
Nah, they both worked. They still work like dogs, man.
Do they really?
Yeah,
God
man.
Bless them.
Nah.
Dude, when you stop, you drop.
Yeah. They've my whole life they've worked. And that's part of the reason I work the way I do.
What's your dad do?
He currently does what we do. He works for
awesome.
ESS, so it's just another company. It's like I don't know what to call it. She does nails, aesthetica salon and spa for the ladies.
Where's that at? Hamilton?
Northfield. Yeah, she got to take a little drive, but
that's all right. For those of you down in the cow country, we used to call Northfield. I mean, it's the middle of nowhere, but it's so beautiful. South Jersey is really beautiful. We're flatlanders. Yeah. We don't have many hills, but we got the Pine Barrens, and we have some pretty interesting topography.
I think
so.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. Mm-hmm. That's really, really cool, Matt.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear my in-laws. I want to say 89 and 87, and they've been in the same place, and it's just so cool.
It is, man.
And you think... they always say times change and all that, but I mean, you really don't see multi-generational families in the same location like you used to.
Or even together. Like a lot of, those numbers have skyrocketed, all the divorce and all that stuff too. So I'm grateful, man. I had a great childhood. I have no complaints with that.
Right.
Very blessed in that aspect.
All right. let me hit you with this question.
What you got?
What you got? What you got? How does it help you knowing that obviously your parents have been married forever? How does it help you with that type of role model growing up?
Immensely. I feel like,
Mom and dad is what I'm talking about, like a team aspect. You seem like you were raised very well.
Yeah, no doubt, dude. Like, yeah, no, it's helped a lot. Like, from as young as I can remember, they taught me and my brother, we're a unit. Us four, you gotta, and that was with it started with me and him going to school, so
Did you
stick
go
together.
to private school or public school as a kid?
Public school.
Public.
Yeah. And yeah, I can go on and on about them, but yeah,
That's cool. I would like to get to know that, and maybe me and you will talk, and we'll get a little bit finer lines where.
Yeah, no, we can definitely dive into
about
that.
your family for an hour and a half. I don't know if everybody wants to hear that. So it's just you and your brother.
Yep.
His name is, if you don't mind.
Chase.
Chase. CH.
Yeah.
Chase. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Neither one of you have a typical Italian name.
I know. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
They tried to make it a little different. I would have loved a super Italian name, but that's cool.
Like Mario and
something cool.
Yeah,
I don't
Salvador.
know. But I like
Salvador. What's that? Yeah.
They're funny though because they tried, and I do thank my mom and dad for this. They, they didn't want it to. Every Matt is Matthew, right?
Oh,
so
cool.
they thought it was super special and different to make it just Matt,
that light's
which
really
I
reflecting
appreciate.
on your glasses.
My bad.
Just shut it down. No, I didn't want it to look bad.
So yeah, I am just Matt on my birth certificate, on my license.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was a little switch up with that, and then Chase is different. I feel like you don't see too many of them.
Especially 25 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Chase. Yes.
Yeah, Matt and Chase, good little quick flow.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hit me with this. You're obviously a pretty fit guy.
Thank you. Try.
You are. You know what I mean?
Just getting back into it. 7 weeks in.
Right. What's your morning routine? What's your morning look like?
Work days, how it is. So I don't.
I only care about work days, to be honest with you.
Don't care, you said?
I only.
Oh, all right. So
with this question, because there's a lead into this question. Okay. There's a lead in.
Well, back in the day, I would have had a better answer for you because back in the day, high school even, I would get up early, 4 a.m., work out, then, go amongst my day. Now my morning routine is, wake up, get ready for work, and on my way to work, I have this Bible app. So I listen to, or I read always got a scripture of the day, then a video explaining the scripture.
You watch a video driving to work. Can you do it?
Yeah.
Seriously, no.
I mean, I gotta listen most of the time,
Right. That's
but,
cool.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes tops. So it's a quick, it just explains the scripture of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you understand the Bible better, which has been a crazy difference in my life, positive difference. And that's really it. Then we get started on our good old day at work. You know how that goes. So I unfortunately, I don't have a super exciting morning routine.
No, it's not that I asked that because I find the beginning of the day.
Need my coffee though. I forgot that.
I'm going to break that down a little further, but you did a pretty good job of getting ready. You also did a very good job of saying, back when you were younger, how you got up early to do what you needed to do, right?
For sure. Yeah.
So when you have to do what you have to do to set your head right for the day, you do it on the way to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's crucial.
I rock out on the way to work.
For sure.
But I do my stuff a little earlier. How did you get into the habit of, it's kind of not a loaded question, I think the answer is pretty obvious. Like, how did you get into the spirituality and the religion and the Bible as a morning routine?
I got that from my dad because usually, I put him on. It's funny. I put him onto this app we currently both use, right? Which I just got either early this year or late last year. But he told me that he's been doing it in the mornings, and I'm usually same thing. I usually just rock out to some music, get my head right like that. And he started telling me because he would call me some days and be like, "Yo, did you see the scripture and want to talk about it?" And I wouldn't have an answer. I'm like, "Nah, because I usually wait till the end of the night." Anytime I can get alone time with that, which is hard, living with someone and all that. But So I started taking his advice, and then I just got, I just forced myself to do it.
Cool. Like working out.
Yeah, no doubt.
Right.
Yeah.
And you obviously see benefits.
Yeah, 100%.
Grounding benefits? Like, how does it help you when we have the craziest job.
Yeah.
How does it help you leading up to work?
Incredibly, man. Like, it grounds you, like you said, and it's a dual purpose. Like, I want to know the Bible more. I want to understand it, so that the video after the scripture helps me with that, and then it just centers me. It puts everything into perspective. Like, it's so easy to get lost during the day with, financial problems or daily stress, anything like that. But when you're focusing on God, it just puts everything into perspective. You know what I mean? It calms you
Now
down.
I gotta ask you. We don't want any sponsors, but what's the app?
Holy Bible.
It's Holy Bible.
Yeah, Holy Bible app. Everything's free. I highly recommend it. I've tried multiple, and that's my favorite. I haven't even looked into any other ones.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right, so I want to ask you what challenges you. I see we're Facebook friends. I'm really not a social media guy, which is kind of weird doing a YouTube, Twitch, all that. Yeah, whatever.
That's okay.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. But you had put up a couple posts about fighting through depression.
Mm.
You mind if we get into that for a
For
minute?
sure.
When you say, what does depression look like to you?
Oh man.
This is that pause I was talking about.
Yeah.
You're not forcing an answer, right?
Yeah.
So think about it for a second. Depression looks, or mental illness, but the post that you put up 2 or 3 times, the word depression was in it.
It is now.
So go ahead.
I just feel like that could, that could be different for multiple people. Depression looks like for me, I don't know. It could be anything. It could be, for me personally, it's been it's been 2 things. Sitting in a dark room after putting on this facade all day, and just rotting away in that bed, lights off. Or it could be the flip side of that, and playing it off, faking that smile all day, all that. It could be both. You know what I mean? And I think the worst one is that one. The people that you don't think have it. The people that do look always happy or try and make jokes all the time, or me personally, I'm always there for the other people. It's not always returned the same way, which is fine. It's not why we do it, but depression looks like a lot of different things.
Yeah, but that's what I'm trying to kind of get into your mindset a little bit, because I know you're a great dude. You know what I mean? Just from knowing you, you know what I mean. And I'm not trying to just pump you up because you're here.
No, I know.
From watching you work. You're in it for the right reason, and we can get into all what we do.
Sure.
Somehow I'm gonna have to figure out how to talk about work, whether we do it in a big group setting and we just edit the F out of it. You know what I mean? However it comes down, but we need a vent session. Like me and Matt, and I don't do this. Me and Matt spent 20-30 minutes talking before we went on the air.
Oh yeah, no doubt, at least.
We talked for a while because we need to talk about stuff we really can't talk about on the air yet. I don't know how to talk about it on the air, and we use names.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when me and Matt, when I say, Francine drove me crazy today,
Goddamn Francine.
Francine's fine. You know what I mean? But what her actions did today drove me nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, Matt, he's been through it, man. He's been through it.
Yeah.
How long have you worked where we work?
Going on 6 years, I believe. 6,
So I'm
7.
coming up on 4,
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. It feels like 14.
I know. Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, what are you passionate about?
I'm passionate about weightlifting, nutrition. That was besides baseball, that was my first love.
Bobby! Watch this.
Alright.
Sorry.
You
Hang on to that for a second.
Alright.
Can I get a kiss goodbye? No. All right, come on.
You're gonna have me be on camera.
You're not going to be on camera. Just the back of you for a split second.
Yeah, you gotta be on the pod.
If she refuses, watch the umbrella. I love you. Are you bringing her back?
I don't know.
No, I say no.
Yeah, I'm tired.
I love you.
All right,
Be careful. We go to my in-laws every Tuesday night. Bubby had an event last night. Dawn. Bubby had an event last night with her work at the Phillies game. They had a box and everything.
Oh,
So
totally.
unfortunately, she has to go tonight to dinner. Not unfortunately, her
Yeah.
parents, like I said, are great people, and yeah, that's what they're going. Normally I go, but Wednesdays are our night, so
Yeah.
you know we do it. God, what are you passionate about?
All right. Well, first love was baseball for sure, hands down.
You play?
Not
Still?
anymore. No.
You play softball? You play any type of stick and ball?
Yeah, I did. Well, softball. I did a little bit of softball with my brother. He got me into it. I don't currently. I might get back into it. It's not off the table, but
Can you see the color? You see this big purple mark on my lip?
I do. Yeah. What's that?
Tommy Doc, my wife's cousin.
Uh,
He's classic. To this day, he says the greatest catch he's ever seen in his life.
okay.
I was playing center field, and
Softball.
yeah,
Okay.
and we had a great co-ed. It was the most intense co-ed league. Bubby played up to like 5 months pregnant one year. It was
Heck yeah.
awesome, Matt. We were crazy. We were just crazy baseball, softball people.
That's awesome.
So the pitcher's up from the other team, and needless to say, I run my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm running my mouth. I walk in like 6 steps, dude, from center field. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
For sure.
because he was a great hitter.
Yeah.
You couldn't get him out.
Mhm.
And he would bat 8 for 10 against us in 2 games and drive me crazy because he was like me and ran his mouth.
Yeah.
I'm walking in screaming at Tommy Doc, who's pitching. Tom, he ain't hitting the ball over my head. He ain't thinking. And I'm running my mouth. Ball 1, strike 1. Yo, he starts to swing, Matt. I turn around and start trucking.
Yeah.
I know he's going to put the ball over my head,
Yeah.
but I know he don't. We're playing at Challenge Grove in Cherry Hill. Big field. You got to be strong to hit it out.
Oh, there's a fence.
Yeah, fence.
Okay.
Oh, that's what the face comes from. Yeah, that's the whole thing. So, yo, bro, full fucking tilt. Right into the fence, but right as I caught it, I guess I turned and looked at or I was just following the ball
Yeah.
right into the fence at the bar. Yo, all these are fake. Wham!
Damn.
I busted my face up like no tomorrow. But Tommy Doc says the greatest catch he's ever seen.
Shout out Tommy Dodd. Damn. Good shit, Kev. I didn't even know you played that.
Yeah, we were crazy.
Hell yeah.
All right, what challenge in your life shaped you the most as you sit here right now? One.
Alright. I don't know. I guess depression is an answer, right? You need like a.
No, there's no wrong answer. You know what I mean? Let's get back to that, Matt.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
fine.
No, because how do you? All right, let's say you fall into your abyss, lock yourself in a room. We got blackout curtains. This is the room to do it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. How do you get out of it? Is it a time thing? Because there's certain things with me, like when I get bananas, like my wife will say, "Let it go." I'm like, "Let it go." It's like sunburn to me. I try to make my illness relatable.
Mm-hmm.
So what I say to somebody is, if you do something to me, it's not like water where I can take a towel
Alright.
and dry my arm off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even if you really get me wet, dry my hair might take me 5 minutes.
Alright.
It's like a bad sunburn.
That's a great way. I never
You know what
heard
I
of it
mean?
like that.
Because guess what? That mug hurts tomorrow, bro.
Yes,
and
sir.
I can't really stop it.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that magic and it be gone.
Yeah.
And how do you, and then what leads you into it? You do ABC data. What's the A? The antecedent before the behavior. And then the C for us is the getting through it and getting out of it. It's not the consequence.
Yeah. Well, straight up, I could say the A is just honestly my mind. It doesn't, everyone goes through things in life. Everything.
Nah, you gotta elaborate. Your
No,
mind.
I can
Of course your
elaborate.
mind. No, but I mean, but just take me through exactly when you say your mind.
Well, I'm just saying though, like it does. Not every day it has to be something that happens that leads me into it. Sometimes it's literally just my mind thinking about either financial struggles or am I at where I'm supposed to be in life or different. It's thoughts though all the time. It's always thoughts that lead me into that, and it's our job to shut them off or learn different things to switch them up. And obviously some things have led me there. Past things. But yeah, it's mostly my mind's been my biggest blessing and curse my whole life, and I've always thought that even from a young age.
Like
Like,
a yin and a yang.
yeah, it's always been like I've always felt blessed about it, but it's when I tell you never stops, it's better now. But like growing up, man, never stopped. It never stopped, whether it was good things or bad. Um, and then what was the second part of that? What gets me out of it?
I need to know what gets you out of it.
Yeah.
We need to know because I don't want to minimize the behavior, the actual part of depression, but
Yeah,
really what we want to focus on is a positive day, a good day. So let's focus on a shitty day because we don't want it to carry into tomorrow.
yeah.
So, yeah, I want to know how you get out of it.
I got a couple things for you, so bear with me. But
I'm grizzly. I'll
Good.
bear with you like.
Good. I got a couple for you. One that's coming to the front of my mind first is shout out my dad. He taught me this. I've passed this on to multiple friends. Maybe you can use this too. Focus on getting, we have 7 days in a week, right? If you're going through hard times and, whatever. If you have one good day a week, cool. Next week, try and have two. And so on and so forth. 3, 4. Try and collect as much good days as you can, okay? And that's helped me too. And we have the power to do that. We got to remind ourselves that too. We have the power to determine what a good and bad day is. And if you're like me, you're very hard on yourself, which I think a lot of people are. We're too hard on ourselves. So subconsciously, you make yourself have a bad day. When if you think of the grand scheme, the bigger picture, we are blessed. If you got food on the table, if you got a bed to stay in, if you got family or close friends, we're rich. You know what I mean? We're rich already.
In blessings.
In blessings, yeah. So that's one thing that's huge. I think everyone should focus on. Just gather as many good days a week as you can. Start with that first and foremost. Other side things, just find something you love, man. Like the gym is big for me. I know it's not for everyone, but the gym is major for me. Any activity though, go get out in nature, get some sun. That's hard to do in Jersey all year round, obviously, but best you can, get some movement in, and then just good people in your life, man. Like Kevin, you're definitely one that brings me peace. Shout out my boy Niall, man. You've helped me tremendously. I didn't want to get emotional. I didn't need these fucking tissues. Freaking tissues, sorry.
That's all right.
No, you've helped me tremendously, bro. My brother.
That's cool because he's super quiet. I gotta get to know people. See,
that dude different, man. He built different. He's been through mad. So you're gonna have a great pod with him too, because he's got shit to say for sure.
That's awesome.
He's got a story. Shout out you, Niall. Yeah, just good people in your life though. I try and make time with my brother and his wife. Me and my girlfriend Jonna go over there and we all hang out, the four of us. Just you gotta, get out the house. You gotta do something. Find a hobby. I know it sounds cliche, but that's all things that have helped me. It sounds cliche, but if you force yourself to do it, you feel better.
You've said that a couple times, Matt. You've used that word.
What's that?
Forced.
Oh yeah, you got to.
I know. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear that in your headphone?
Oh, the noise?
Yeah,
a little bit. Yeah,
okay,
I'm catching it now.
There it is right there. I think it's my wire. I gotta get a better
We'll figure that out.
Yeah. Well, Matt, that's cool. In a way, you know what I mean? For you to look at stacking up successive, positive, productive, whatever you consider to be a good day, right?
Yeah.
How do you know it's a good day?
You just, look at, I don't know. It's not.
How do you know to Matt what's a good day?
Oh, how do I know it's a good day? Man, just that I got through it. Just that, if you get out of the bed in the morning, sometimes that's a good day. That's you doing the best you can. If you...
I'm huge on days, Matt. The reason I do that, and I'm kind of glad that you haven't watched... Have you watched all the episodes?
I haven't. No,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I talk a lot about a day.
Oh, good. All right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One day.
At a time.
I want to talk about the day your dad talks about, right?
Yeah.
And that you are in more control of stacking those days up than, let's say, at 30-something that you may understand, right?
Yeah.
And your dad is leading you directly where your spiritual growth needs to go.
For sure.
And he's a role model, right? So you see the success in that, so it's very easy to say, look, that's success, do the same thing.
Yeah.
So I break down days.
Good.
And you just, that's why I'm so glad we don't flip and talk before we do this.
Yeah.
Because here's what I do, dude. Like, I talk to people about getting to 9 a.m. You're, like you said, getting out of bed is, you're damn right,
Sometimes
dude.
that's a
When
win.
you're in it and going through it, dude, I've sat there for 36 hours, dude, and have to pee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right,
Like
yeah.
2 days and be like staring on. I didn't piss myself, right? Like, I mean, like, I knew I didn't, but your mind goes there, like, dude.
Yeah.
So we break down days. That's what I do.
Yeah.
I break down days. I break it down to a morning. Give you my morning today, real quick. No hot water. Couldn't find the thing I needed for work, and was a split second from calling out. Like, normally it would have been like, it's a you know why? Because I'm an asshole to everybody I work with, and we serve, right, Matt? We do nothing but serve.
100%.
In that mental state, there are gaps in my service, and I don't feel like I should be doing my job at the level that needs to be done with my head all over the place.
That's good
and
awareness.
not paying attention. That's only because I'm in my mid-50s, dude. I went to work so many times and I shouldn't have been there in dangerous situations as a truck driver, not sleeping for 3 days and work for my dad and him flipping out.
Yeah.
Because I'm late, let alone late. Oh my goodness. Thank God.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Thank God that I never killed anybody and stuff like that. In my mania, after my mom died, it was bananas.
I bet.
So a day, you know what I mean, comes down to, for me, that's why I asked you what makes up a good day. You know what I mean? That it's almost like, if you don't know where you're going, how'd you get there? How do you get there, right?
Yeah.
So in my experience, I bang my head, or I use guardrails. I bounced off the guardrails, you know what I mean, going down the road. I was still going down the road, but I'm bouncing off guardrail after guardrail instead of just following the yellow line, the white line in the middle.
Yeah.
So getting through these days sometimes were torture. You know what I mean? For no other aspect of it. So when I think of a day, it's broken into little segments, and like today I grounded myself and I said, we're going on break in a couple days. Like, I used all the weapons against myself. Do you know what I mean? Like, dude, you cannot call out. Bubby said to me, you're calling out, right? Because I'm flipping out.
Yeah.
I have no hot water. Can't get a shower.
Yeah.
And I work in close proximity with people. I do not like not getting a shower at 7 or 6:30 to go to work at 8. I just, it just, so I did it. I did the old ghetto shower, and, you know, but I just made it to lunch. We had a potluck, and I said I gotta go, even if I take the food and leave. See, and I tricked myself into moving. You know what I mean? And you said force, I use trick, right? Because they both get what? Production.
Right.
You know what I
No
mean?
doubt.
They both get what we need at the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to see how I want to wrap this up, Matt. I don't want to run too long.
Are we at 28 already?
28, we're 33 minutes.
What?
We're going to cut the end of this off. No,
Okay.
we're not.
No.
988-911. Listen, Matt is coming back.
Yes,
So
sir. Can't
I
wait.
want to thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
I
Kevin.
want to, first of all, thank you for your honesty and open thing. We didn't get into everything I wanted to get into. But that's a good thing, in a way, because if I dive really deep into something, I want to talk about your parents and I want to talk about your upbringing a little more and stuff like that. But we will fill in those pieces as we get to know you better.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? So, 911, 988, don't hurt anybody. Share this. Do me a solid. Just share it. You know what I mean? Say, yo, this is my boy. And he's got a new podcast, got a new channel. Just check it out. We're here to help us. We will never be cured, Matt.
No.
But we don't have to suffer. You know what I mean? And we need to do all we can to ease the suffering.
No
All
doubt.
right. In a non-HR reportable way, we love you. Peace.
Peace.